We are at my dad's cycling team, meeting you guys to ride the bike a bit at my lovely home area where I grew up and did majority of my kilometers as a bike rider. It's always nice to be home, for sure. I'm not here that much anymore, so it's good to be here once in a while and see the home roads and the lovely Danish weather. You know, today it's a bit of a risk. You know, it could be raining at any time, but at least it's windy, so it comes and goes.
What's really worked this season for you? What's the difference?
I think, of course, the age is playing a role here. You know, I grew up the last couple of years. I also know better my own skills and where I can perform really well and which days let's say I have to give up, where it's not possible to make the results. And I think this confidence of being able to say, okay, this is my day, this is not my day at all, I think that really helps it helps on the focus these days where it's really important, and also like the physical part is also, you know, you just have that last bit of extra energy or whatever we can call it for these specific days.
So riding smarter this year?
Smarter, and then make a clear plan before the season starts that this is what we do and this is what we do here. And so we don't have a clear plan. Let's say, for example, I have to do Vuelta a España later this year. Of course, we don't have a clear plan yet for each day, but we will sit down, me and Matthias, my coach, and we will make this plan for each day, where it's like, this is the days we go for it, and the rest of the days, it's nothing to do with me. In the end, it's about how the body feels, for sure. But again, training is data. So, you know, if one race, let's say, to Flanders, I had one specific week of training and Flanders went well, it's easier to do the same the year after and then just copy paste. So the moment we found this recipe of, you know, 3 hours, 4, 6 and so on, the moment we found that, we kept going in that direction, and maybe we added a bit here and there. So the hours is pretty much the same, and then we adjusting a little bit on the feeling of the body with the efforts and how tired I am. Maybe there was a crash, so we have to adjust a bit and so on. But the main thing is it's basically the same. So it's 90% the same every year now, and then we change these small details on feeling. But there it's really good with Matthias that we have such a good relationship, because I don't believe that it works for a coach just to tell a rider or an athlete, just do this. You have to have a bond, you have to talk about what are you doing. And the moment you have a good relationship, you can also be honest with each other and you talk. I say when I'm completely done or we need to do more, and he trusts when I say it as well. So I think training is like a religion. You have to believe in it, and if you don't, then do something else.
What motivates you still to keep on pushing?
Winning. I love to win, and I still have a few races I didn't win yet, like a monument. That's still what I'm aiming to win. So I have these small things I want to achieve in my career, and that really motivates me to keep fighting. And the thing is, I will never sit back and say, let's say I win the monument I'm looking for, I would never sit back and say, okay, now I did it, then I want one more. So I think the motivation comes from being able to always being hungry for more. Sometimes it's a downside also. Sometimes you have to, you know, stop yourself and give yourself credit for what you achieved. And I think in general we're bad at doing that. Not only in cycling, but in life in general. You know, if you do something well, sometimes it's okay to sit down on the balcony with a beer in the hand and say, okay, fuck, I did really well here. This was impressive. Good job. But I think that's a downside for a lot of competitive people, that when we achieve something, we look forward to the next. We want to win the next also. But we can be happy when we are done. When I was 16, 17, of course it was hard to give up all the parties, and friends, they go to parties Friday, Saturday, every week, and having another relationship than I had with them, because I was never there. I just came to school and then I left, and then I had to train after. So for sure some friendships got ruined by that also. But the real friends, they're still here. So was it worth it? 100%. For sure, it's worth all the sacrifice. I think the hardest sacrifice is now to see that my wife have to sacrifice also parts of her life for me being able to do this. But lucky for me, she was a part of this journey since we were young, since we were 17, 16. So we've been together for so many years now that she knows what it is, and she grew with it as well. She didn't come in when everything was good, so she knew what she signed up for as well. I would tell them to keep it fun. I think that's really important when you're young, that it's still fun, because these hours where it's hard, it's raining when you're training, and all the hard and shitty hours, they will come at one point. So when you're a kid, keep dreaming and make it fun. Find your friends, because they're also in cycling. Kids, they get friends at football, but they're also there at cycling. Maybe you don't see them twice a week, but you see them in the weekend. So find your friends, keep it fun, and then, I think that's the most important. And keep dreaming. So it's always okay to dream, and for me it's also okay to tell your dreams, because it's a dream. Maybe you will never achieve it, but could be possible. I achieved most of mine. Most of them. We are here on home road, close to where I'm born and raised. Did a lot of trainings, especially on this road as well. As a kid, we always had the last race here on the way back to the local club. So from the other end up here, like 1K away, to the end where we will be in a few minutes. We always had the last race of the training, and the loser have to pay or had to bring cake for the next training. So it definitely bring back some memories to be here for sure. Even though it's not the nicest weather today, but doesn't matter. This is typical weather in the north, right? You have the same at home in Sweden. So like nutrition in general, I don't care too much. It's not in my huge interest. I do it because that's a part of cycling now, and we have to have a focus on it. So that's why I'm really into it and read the studies I have to read and so on. But regarding Nomio, Matthias, he came to me like he have done before with other products. But he came to me and said, Mads, I talked with these guys. Nomio might help us with reducing lactate, and maybe we should at least just try it. And then I got these, the first big bottles already there. I was like, okay, something is working here. The first ones I got was a bit hard for, at least on empty stomach for me. But then the moment you came with the shots, I was like, man, this is working insanely good. The thing is with me and Matthias is like, he's the guy who's reading these studies or getting in touch with you guys or hear about something that could improve performance. And I also know he only comes to me with what he believes is working. And when if he believes it's working, I wouldn't even questioning it. For sure we will then try it. And then we try it on specific testing days and training camp and so on, and we just saw an improvement. It was a bigger improvement than we expected. So then from there on it was talking more with you guys to find a solution how we could use it before the rest of the world they started to get it. In the end of the long days, and then this last hour and a half of the race, so let's say from 4 hours, 4.5 to 5.5, 6, there it's still like this extra you have before, it's still there. So I can still push it on the climbs. I can still push almost the same watts as I would be able to do after 3 hours. It's still there, even that the legs feels empty. It's just possible to squeeze a little bit more again. And that's even after doing high power for longer, like high average power for longer time. It's still possible to have this little extra push on the climbs, and we need on the climbs. We need this 1 minute once in a while where it's all out. And now first we have to do the national championships, and then after that I will take a bit of a break, and then I will, for the first time in 6 years, go on a summer holiday with my wife. Of course I have to bring my little bike. I can't take 2 weeks without training. But just to go, you know, in Spain, being at the swimming pool after the trainings and so on, it's something new, and I look forward to do that.
First vacation in 6 years.
Yeah. That's life, you know. We get paid to do bike races, and sadly the biggest one is in July.